get my 6. What's up, guys and girls? We're hulking out in the heat. It is literally 82 degrees right now in Central Virginia, the end of April, and I love every minute of it. I'm out here wearing black to soak up the heat. Winter is over, and probably in a week I'll be hiding from the heat. And it's bright. But guys, listen, I don't like that. It's disrespectful. I gotta make eye contact with you. Okay, you guys gotta stop. Listen, I'm not trying to be an ungrateful gift acceptor. Please make sure, all you people who are raining gifts down upon me and my family, make sure you can afford this. I have reason to believe I know that you can. So I am going to just graciously say thank you. I'm not going to cry in this video as I show off some, just yesterday. This is stuff that showed up. I cried before I started recording. You remember the log splitter video? I cried, and some people said I needed to have dignity and not blabber and sob and cry on camera in front of the world. I needed to man up, blah, blah, blah. I think you're just jealous that you didn't get a free log splitter. Well, I got some really cool stuff, and I'm putting it to good use here on the homestead, particularly with one of them here with the beehives, but another one, wait till you see what I got here. Right here. What do you see what's in here? It's not a knife, and I'm not going to use it on him, her, it, or they, the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch, which may or may not be watching us from the tree line right now, so make sure to keep getting my 6. But these blanket monster things, whatever the heck they are, listen, if that's you, whoever you is, and you're watching this, you're going to find out here a little bit later in this video. I got something for you, and I'm going to get you. All right, first and foremost, Rosie Iverson from Sweet Home, Alabama. Thank you so much. You this is crazy. Rosie, last week we got from her tomato plants, red bell peppers plants. Okay, yesterday this stuff showed up. No, I think she sent it all at once, but this is so crazy. Rosie, you are very much appreciated. My wife Dearly made a thank you video about this yesterday on her channel, Life with Dearly. Go subscribe and like. She's really a cute girl and she's wonderful. Rosie also sent us some more potatoes, which we are going to plant in our potato patch that we planted just 2 days ago. So it's perfect timing. They'll all come up at the same time. And she sent me some things that we will definitely use. One that I actually have needed for the last 2 years, but have been a little bit too kind of thrifty to go out and buy myself because I already have 2. I just don't like them. I'm going to tell you why. But she sent some some pruning shears, which is great because we're always taking weeping willow cuttings. We sell them on Etsy. The link to our Etsy store is in the description box below. Oh, hey, bee. What's up? Oh, yeah, they're everywhere. I'm like, there's a bee. Yeah, because you're in front of a hive. Duh, 8,000 of them live in that little box. And then, of course, we get chew sticks for our rabbits. So this is definitely going to come into play. Thank you, Rosie. And of course, limb clippers. I've only planted 2,000 or 3,000 trees around here, and I do some pruning, of those lower limbs as they're growing. So this is definitely going to get used a lot. But here's a big one. These hedge shears, gardening shears, hedge clippers. I've got a couple pairs of these that for some reason just won't keep an edge, and I've gotten tired of having to sharpen them every time I use them. So here's a brand new pair. And we used them yesterday to cut grass to feed our rabbits, and they work great. So, Rosie, thank you very much. But Rosie was reading my mind. You'll notice here's where we keep our beehives. I mow like 3 acres, and it takes about 2 hours and 45 minutes total mow time. And it is absolutely worth it because when it's finished, the place looks like a resort or a golf course. But I'm hesitant, as you can see, with this foot-tall grass. I won't get any closer than the bees than this. They're honeybees. They're very docile, but I don't want to tick off 8,000 bees living in a box the size of about 4 shoe boxes put together. And even with my gas-powered weed eater, I've got that little Bolin. It's very inexpensive. It's $79.99 new. And, you know, it gets the job done. Again, it's not the machine, it's the man that uses it or doesn't. And I mean, I spent probably 5 or 6 hours last week trimming, weed eating, enjoying every minute of it. I do it so I can. Those who can do, or those who do because they can, and they can because they do. If I sat around and said, oh, that's too much work, I don't want to do that, and I went out and weed eated for 15 or 20 minutes, of course it would be hard. It would make my arms hurt. I couldn't do it. I do it so it gets the job done, okay? However, I was leery to do this because it is a gas-powered weed eater, and I didn't want to be over here with a gas-powered weed eater getting too close to 8,000 bees that live in a box the size of 4 shoe boxes put together. Guess what Rosie sent me? Reading my mind. Look at this. Rosie sent me an electric weed eater. Okay? It's a German engineered weed eater. Einhell is the brand. And it was so easy to put together. I didn't even have to read the instructions. I just looked at the picture on the box. Like everything I put together. That's why it wouldn't be safe for me to work in an auto manufacturing plant. And it's one of these really neat ones that has these little, like, I call them zip ties, but they're not. They just go here, easy to put on and off. And it's got backups in here in the handle. I plugged the battery in this morning before I went out and ran for 30 minutes. And when I was done with my 30-minute run, it was already fully charged. So it's like, get some stuff done while you're waiting on that to charge if it dies. This is adjustable. This unscrews. So, and this is so lightweight. Look, one arm. Yeah, I know I'm strong. I know I'm buff. Look at the pecs. But it's so light, even if my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, wanted to use it and we needed to adjust the length, doing so is that simple. And our son's about of the age now where it's time for him to start helping out with this kind of stuff. Because remember, a 10-year-old boy that won't work will grow up to be a 20-year-old man, a 30-year-old man, a 40, even a 50-year-old man who won't work. Okay, I've seen it. So anyway, battery's fully charged. It's put in. To operate, you simply push this up and engage the trigger. And as you can tell, it's not even loud enough to bother the honeybees. So with my iPro, okay, here, we're gonna test it out. First time ever using it, and what I'm gonna do is trim where the weeds have gotten about a foot tall here at the aviary, so we can have the entire property looking beautiful. Okay, not just all of it except the aviary. But watch this. So look at that. And that's the first time I've ever used it, so it'll take me a couple of times of getting used to gauge how closely I can get to the taller grass. You'll notice I hit the cinder blocks a couple of times that I'm using to hold down my vapor lining. They didn't even hurt this thing. See that? It's still all there, so it worked great. It wasn't loud enough to upset the bees. The bees are still here. They have not attacked me, okay? The sun is getting hot, so we're gonna go up to the campground and look for some shade for me to explain to you what my man, Timothy Harrison from Nebraska sent us. This and something else. With the something else, you're gonna hear the funniest voyeuristic story, the funniest story about a voyeur, about peeping toms, whatever you wanna call them, you've ever heard in your life. True story, happened this morning. Then I'm gonna show you what I'm packing right now. Let's just say I'm packing heat. Blanket monsters, come at me, bro. Well. Look who's just lounging around in our recently rediscovered hammock while I'm doing some hard weed eating out in the 82-degree temperatures. Hi, hon.
Hi, hon.
I'm making a video. You want to say hi to all of our subscribers on Homesteading Off the Grid?
Hi, everybody.
I showed them Miss Rosie's gifts that she sent us. Wasn't that a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go up to the campground and show them what Thomas Harrison in Nebraska sent us.
Okay.
So you having fun hanging out in that hammock?
Yeah, it's just so much beautiful weather today.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
When you're done with that, can you make sure that goes where it's supposed to go?
Let it go, honey.
All right, I'll be back, huh? Let's go up here to the realm of him, her, it, or they. You know what? There's been times when we have walked up here and caught them in the background. So let's do that today as I tell you this story. All right, so here's my preface for this story, and keep watching. And by the way, that's where we planted our potatoes, onions. Oh, we put here. Here's our pumpkin patch. We found the deer do not eat the pumpkin vines or the pumpkins, the young pumpkins. So we're gonna go ahead and plant them on the outside of our fence this year. We've done that before. So because that way that we can put all the food that we actually want to eat inside the fence. Okay, so here's my preface. You remember how many times I've said this before? I can only control what I say. I cannot control how you take what I say. Now, I'm going to talk about in this story, in this true story, which took place this morning, but I guess it's really been taking place for about 5 years now. I'm going to talk about agoraphobia and voyeurism. Neither of which two things I'm making fun of. I'm not, okay? There's been times in my life when I have suffered from agoraphobia myself. Man, I can really tell I'm fit. I mean, I run, mountain bike, hike, but just the heat, what it is my body's not used to it yet. This is the first day this year that it's been in the 80s, and it's a little bit humid too. So it actually was kind of hard to breathe for a second. So anyway, when I was in the Philippines, I went for a long time where I would go for 2 or 3 weeks at a stretch without leaving the house. A lot of it had, whatever. I've had agoraphobia. It's no laughing matter, okay? When you have these fears in your head, and we're all, capable of getting them at any time. We worry about things. Sometimes there's things that are real. But, I heard an acronym once about fear. FEAR. It stands for, really, false evidence appearing real. I like that acronym because what I've found, I read this in Reader's Digest many, many years ago. They were interviewing a man that was 110 years old, and they asked him, they said, if you could do one thing differently in your life, in your very super long life, what would it be? And he said, I wouldn't worry about anything. He said 95% of the stuff that I worried about throughout my life never happened, never came to fruition. He said the stuff that, did come up and bite me on the butt were things I never saw coming. He said, so I wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy worrying about stuff that never happened. So it was false evidence appearing real. You think over a period of 110 years, how much time that might have kept that man in his house, not wanting to go out, not wanting to socialize, not wanting to do things he enjoyed or be around the people he liked. Okay, so anyway, I think I made my point. But that's what I do here. I belabor my points. Plus I want to make sure we got up here. All the leaves are coming back now and it's beautiful, but him, her, it, or they has the ability to hide from us a little better than usual. So we might, and I'm looking for shade anyway because it's hot. Whoa. I'm gonna drop the phone, drop the camera. So here we go. And I've still got the phone on a tripod and it's on a swivel. So if I see movement from any direction, I can change the angle, change the view. Let's get set up here without dropping that. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's what's going on. Let me show you what Mr. Harrison, Thomas Harrison, he got me a couple things. One's for the blanket monster. Oh, there's a breeze, that's nice. Okay, so keep getting my 6. All right, the Mr. Harrison, by the way, thank you, and thank you for the Christmas gifts. He sent me a card with these gifts, and he said he felt bad because all he sent me for Christmas was Twinkies. Huh. Trust me, man. If all anybody ever gave me was Twinkies, I would be very pleased with that person's gift forever. I freaking love Twinkies. So this time he sent several things. He sent me one of these doohickey-majigs. I guess I can put that in my truck and make videos in my truck now. Wow, Thomas Harrison in Nebraska, you've just given me another avenue in which to talk to myself at length into my phone. And then for some reason, think millions of strangers on social media would like to hear what I said. That's crazy, isn't it? All right. Really cool gift number 2, and this is where the story comes in. And I've been needing to get one of these. I mean, I've been using empty toilet paper tubes, you know, as like optics when I do my potential Bigfoot Sasquatch hunting, my field research, because I don't hunt them. I'm not going to kill them. Just trying to, like, you know, say, hey, what's up, brah? Once you, like, these people think you're fake, like, prove them wrong, brah, you know? But sometimes when I need to view a longer range, I will use the empty, like, gift wrapping paper after Christmas, because, you know, it's like 3 feet long. You get a better range. Well, Thomas Harrison in Nebraska sent me something totally awesome that's going to lead to a very funny story. Look, he sent me a binocular, and it even has a compass on it, so I know which direction in which I'm looking. It's got covers on it to protect the lenses. And let me tell you, this sucker's strong, super strong. Like my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, is way down there in the hammock, you know, a couple 100 yards away. I can't see her. It's not because of binoculars, because she's down below the hill. There's a knoll. All right, but you know what? I can see my beehives, which are almost a quarter of a mile away. Man, I can see the little tiny bees flying around. So here's a funny story, okay? And we went into town this morning to do some things, and we came back and we were talking about how beautiful it is now that all the leaves are back on the trees. And we were talking about how it's wonderful. We have full privacy now, okay? Because for 5 months out of the year, there's 5 houses that we can see, or they can see us, because the leaves are off. The very end of November, December, January, February, March. Now here we are, the end of April, the leaves are back. Total privacy, okay? Unless if you go to a couple specific spots where there's still a couple of open spots, but we're actually patching those up too with, you know, Leland cypresses and eastern red cedars. So, listen, none of us are idiots. We all have a sixth sense. It's when we can feel things or we know something when there's really no way of knowing, such as when we're being watched. You have ever had that just super creepy feeling you're being watched, right? Well, in Western society, and especially in American society, they try to teach us that listening to your gut instincts is not just wrong, it's just downright offensive. You might offend somebody if you're listening to your instincts. Well, let me tell you, then you go join the U.S. military, you learn that you'd better relearn to listen to those instincts, or you're going to die should you deploy, which I did. When you're in a combat zone and you feel like you got eyes on you, it's probably a sniper. Or, you know, you see that guy over there who's not supposed to be there and he's taking notes he's not supposed to be taking. Whole nother ball of wax. So anyway, I relearned to listen to those spidey senses that we're all born with, that American culture at least tries to desensitize us from feeling, or at least following. Kept me alive in Iraq, and then it kept me much safer, if not alive as well, probably alive as well, in the Philippines for 6 years. I saw a big crow. And crows are good things when you have chickens, because they keep the hawks away, as you know, if you have chickens. Well, you don't just turn that stuff off. I guess it's called hypervigilance. You know, they like to label everything over here. They call it PTSD. Well, I heard that was defensive or offensive, so they took the D off, because that means disorder, so now it's just PTS. Post-traumatic syndrome or whatever, dude. I have it. You can change the name of it. It doesn't change my condition, but I have learned to live with it, and I embrace it. Just like my insanity. I do not suffer from insanity. I enjoy every freaking minute of it, okay? My point to this long-winded point I berated is, I know when I've got eyeballs on me, okay? I know I've got one voyeur, and I've kind of taken care of that for the most part. Agoraphobic voyeur type. But there's this other place. And listen, I'm not saying any names. I'm not saying where. It's just I've got to give you this information for you to understand this story, because it's kind of funny. It's kind of like dark humor, if you're into dark humor. There's a house where I'm told a couple of people live in. I've been here for 5 years, and I've never seen these people. I've never asked. I don't care. I'm not here because of who lives there or who lives. I'm here because this is where me and my family want to live. We do our thing. We mind our own business. Fortunately, we're finally to a point to where everyone around us does the same, or at least so I thought, but which I felt. I'm just got to tell you this story. It's hilarious. Wow. You know all them faces in the trees you guys see? With this thing, I can see them smiling. All right, so there's this one particular spot on our property that's very far away from here, that for that 5-month period out of the year, there's a direct view of one of those 5 houses. And it happens to be the house where I'm told a couple lives there. But I've never seen them. They never go out. Their services and stuff they need is taken to them. I would say it's probably agoraphobia. And again, I'm not making fun of that. It's a serious condition. I've had it at times. It sucks. It's debilitating, okay? So, okay. Well, at least they're not bothering us, right? Because they don't come out. But every time I've been working in that particular part of my property, I feel eyeballs on me, okay? And I'll glance over, and I can see the house, and I'm like, maybe they're staring at me through the windows. And I'm like, well, who cares? Who cares if they are, dude? I'm mowing my grass, or I'm picking up sticks. You know, when a limb falls, my place always looks great, and I don't really have to put a lot of time into it, because if a stick falls out of a tree, or guess what? I pick it up. And if you just do that when it happens, you never have to take a whole weekend where you have to go clean your stuff, because it just stays clean, right? So I'll be way down there doing something like that, and I'm like, okay, so sometimes I'll be mowing grass, and I'll be down there, and I've got to go to the bathroom, okay? I live in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, I'm going to just, pay the water bill here. And I've been doing it at times, and this is, YouTube has recently, lightened up a little bit on foul language, adult humor, adult situations and stuff, so I can tell you this story now. So I'd be, peeing, and, and I feel eyeballs on me, and I'm looking around like, is it potentially the Bigfoot Sasquatch, which by golly, I'll be able to see him now. But I just see that house. And so about 3 years ago, I said, okay, look, just to have peace of mind, let's say they are over there, just watching you when you're over here. Well, they got binoculars. Let's say they're full bore voyeurs, right? Well, when you're over here and you got to pee, just raise your flag, that flag being one of these fingers. You can probably figure out which one it is. I'm not going to do it because I don't know if YouTube's there yet. I would just kind of, pay the water bill and flip the bird and kind of look over there thinking, and now here's the deal. That's rude. Okay, I would never do that to like an innocent bystander or a stranger. But my take is if you're sitting around like creeping on someone and you're committing voyeurism, you get what you get, man. So you want entertainment. You want to watch this guy relieve himself while he's out there spending 3 hours mowing grass, and you see a particular bird of interest. You get what you get. If that offends you, maybe you should not just, but I'm thinking, that's nuts. Who would do that? Even if these folks, do suffer from false evidence appearing real, that's their business. I'm sure there's no way they're sitting around just watching us when we're on this little tiny part of our big property, right? So Thomas Harrison in Nebraska, he sent me this binocular. And so after my run this morning, I ran in a hoodie that had the pocket over the belly. I stuck this in the pocket. So as I was doing my 10-minute, I ran for 30 minutes. I walked around for 10 minutes, do a cool down. I took it out, so, as I walked, so I could look around, in the woods, see if I saw any deer or potentially Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or these blanket freaks, which I got something for them. They're going to get it here real soon. Well, I get to that one part of my property, and believe it or not, guess what? I had to go. I had to pee. So I'm like, okay, so I'm peeing, and it's become nature now. I'm peeing. I'm, giving the bird over in that direction. I catch myself, and I said to myself, you know what? You're nuts, Crazy Lake. They call you Crazy Lake for a reason. There's nobody over there watching you pee, And I remembered I had that binocular in my thing here, right? In my pocket. So I took it out. I went like this. I looked over. Guess what I saw? I saw a little old lady hunkered down with a pair of binoculars and a little old man standing up behind her with his binoculars, and both of them were flipping me the bird. That is a true story. I laughed so hard, I kind of, got something on myself. I had to went in and take a shower. It's kind of too much information, but because I laughed, I was like, this whole time, I felt like I was being watched. I assumed I was having voyeurism committed on me, so I'm just flipping the bird. And yet for the last 3 years, more than likely, they've been sitting there with their binoculars watching me and flipping me the bird right back, probably saying to each other, my God, that guy's got amazing eyesight. We're 3/4 of a mile away from him, and he can see us in here. True story. So, Thomas Harrison, thanks. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. Blanket monsters, well, we're definitely going to find out if it's me, like some people say, because let me tell you, I would not gift myself this gift that Thomas gave me. Okay, is it somebody playing a prank? Is it an annoying neighbor? Is it the hay collector? Or is it, someone else? Well, let me show you what else Thomas Harrison from Nebraska sent me. I've been carrying it with me ever since. I will continue to carry it with me. And should him, her, it, or they, well, not the Bigfoot Sasquatch. If I were to, listen, you know what this is? Turn it on. I've got a taser, brah. See that? I'm not going to go with Bigfoot Sasquatch with this because I would be on the losing end of that proposition. But these blanket monster freaks, okay, let's say, okay, this property is clearly posted. There are no trespassing signs everywhere. We have security cameras in multiple locations. Our viewers of the channel know it because they have seen the video footage of whatever those things are. Come at me now, bro. Come at me now. Bro.